say this whole sector goes up by 25% next year. On an outright basis, it could be the worst company in the sector, but it could still go higher. We looked at the earnings, but what about the revenues? That's because, like I said, remember, a lot of companies infant stage, they trade on revenues and they trade on user growth, not necessarily. It's like Facebook for a while it traded on clicks, on how many users or That's why even when Twitter and all these other Snapchat's about to IPO, and it's going to all trading on users. As soon as this thing stop growing, this thing probably gets halved. If they come a quarter, or I should say, their revenues in the next quarter were the same as they were the year before, stock probably gets cut in half. So again, I think the takeaway would be that this could be a short, but it's probably paired against something else, and probably it's trading on metrics that you need to follow. And the metrics are not earnings. Earnings, it's kind of irrelevant here.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I guess it is a bit of a defensive play, right? So it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Right. I think that you've identified a catalyst there that's not going to turn. Obviously, like anything, there's some risks, and you identify them. But like you said, there's no takeover. There's probably not a ton of upside. If you're wrong, it's probably not.
You're gonna get squeezed.
Yeah. Good analysis. They did both the quantitative and the qualitative analysis, and it's definitely a candidate, short candidate. Now I'm really looking forward to this one, the young guns. What do we got here?
It's the company that I actually work for.
Is that lower than?
In industry is like 1.2.
1.1.
Okay. So what is your view on the sector itself? Are you
Not outright bearish, but it's just kind of like neither here nor there.
not bullish, but not? So you're neutral pretty much on the sector.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. You're essentially long crude. Okay.
Yeah. Not like outright.
No, right, not outright, but that's part of
Yeah.
that's part of what you're rooting. I mean, you know what you're rooting for somewhat.
Yeah.
You have something to root for. In terms of in that market, okay.
Give or take, all their capital expenditures is equivalent to what they're buying back in stock, in common stock. So
They can't get financing for.
No, they want they're actively seeking to get financing, but they can't. They just simply can't secure it.
That's interesting. So you really did well. You really did the qualitative research even better. So it's good work, and it's definitely a candidate.
Yeah. I'll get over it.
And you had the added bonus of just telling some guy in their face, "I'm going to show you about the company."
Which profit sharing does well.
All right.
Now that I have a process that I can follow step by step and just go from there, I'm pretty sure I'll stand a much better chance of coming up with good ideas before I actually go and put the trades on in the market. Now onto the paint trade.
That's kind of the key about it, is when it's not necessarily a sector or a niche trade that it's about. It's about something that's more widely followed, something that a lot of people are in, that they've been in for a while, and for some reason something happens, some catalyst, and turns around. And that is when you start feeling pain, emotional pain from the market, and that's the classic thing is that's when you start second guessing your reason why you're in the trade in the first place. And you get these exaggerated moves. I'm gonna put some up here, and then I'm gonna show you some charts so we can talk about them in more detail, right? So you end up here. And that's when you basically mortgage your house to just day trade over leverage tech names that has no value at all. And then of course eventually the whole thing just starts tanking. And now you're sitting here super leveraged and you have no idea how to get out of this trade because you didn't know why you got into it in the first place. Because it's not that hard to be over leveraged in these names. You can position yourself for it. There's not just one way to trade and make money. it's not going to be too obvious, because if it's obvious, then it's going to be obvious to everybody. But if you can derive to a conclusion that something is likely to cause a pain trade for a lot of other people, yeah, I mean, you can take advantage of it. These things can last for a while. So if you are going to do that, you need to have a way to control your risk too. But when people get really greedy or really scared, that's when you get these over-exaggerated swings, which leads to these emotional situations for everybody who's in it, and that can basically drive prices way beyond what you would think would be possible. All of a sudden, all your risk calculations is a complete out of whack, because you become like completely irrational. So if everybody is long something, like your grandmother starts telling you about it and everything, all of a sudden something happens and it starts going the other way. Well, now everybody's running to sell. Well, somebody has to buy it from you, right? And now since everybody bought it, there's nobody left to buy it. And then you get these like huge moves that goes way beyond anything that you would expect. They need to be aware of their exposure in the marketplace, so they don't get caught on the wrong side of a big erratic move. That's kind of the goal. So I think they got it. I think you're on the same page.
Hopefully no one's in too much pain right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully the market's the one who will be in pain when you're done with it. You have homework tomorrow night. We have a special guest who's going to be here tomorrow, but you guys will basically have some time with him, either late tomorrow or Friday morning, and he's going to teach part of this. He's going to do a little presentation in his session on Friday for class. Each one of you has to present either a long or short idea, whether it's through stock, through options. Each one of you will present for a half an hour by yourself. You won't have anyone else. It'll just be you. And myself, Ben, and our secret guest will be an investment panel. This would be kind of like, this would mimic what it would be like if you were working at an investment bank or a hedge fund when you're pitching a trade idea.
So yeah, we're coming to the end of the week now. We do a lot of work. Class work is basically a full day for us. So we need to give some time to relax as well, and realize that trading should also be fun. It's not just work continuously, because then you go crazy.